Welcome, 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 Hattiesburg, and a pleasant day to all our listeners. This is Abby, your host for Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm here to bring you updates, news, and more from our community. And to add to all the excitement today, we have Mississippi Moments with Taylor Howard and a news wrap with Kaylin Fox Thomas to ensure you're up to date on all the hottest topics. And guess what? We have some very special guests for you today, Chelsea and Mac. You definitely want to stay tuned for what they have to share with us today. But before we jump into all the fun, here's a quick message from our sponsor. So hang tight, we'll be right back with more Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Estos son los sonidos de una cena. Una cena que casi no sucedió. Es una cena servida gracias a personas como tú. Debido a la crisis actual, 50 millones de personas pueden vivir con hambre este año. Feeding America está ayudando a los que más lo necesitan. Y si quieres, tú puedes ayudar también. Visita feedingamerica.org/en-español. Patrocinado por el Ad Council y Feeding America, la fuerza de 200 bancos de alimentos.
Welcome back. In campus news, undergraduate and graduate students can dive into the world of coastal research and hands-on opportunities through the University of Southern Mississippi's Summer Field Program at the Gulf Coast Research Laboratory in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The two-session program continues to showcase the uniqueness of the Mississippi Gulf Coast while providing students with an intensive academic and field experience. Offered by Southern Miss School of Ocean Science and Engineering, the program will run its first season in on May 27th through June 25th, and its second season will be June 26th, through July 30th. The first session will be a variety of courses, including barrier island ecology, marine invertebrate zoology, and behavior. Guys, just go with it. The second season will focus on marine conservation, marine toxicology, and ichthyology. Both will have opportunities for fieldwork abroad USM research vessels. Dr. Jesse Kassler, Marine Education Center Director, emphasized the importance of intense fieldwork, experience, and preparation for blue economy careers, and the value the program brings to those enrolled. Also in campus news, more than 120 students attended the Spring 2025 Inspired Leaders Series hosted by the College of Business and Economic Development at the University of Southern Mississippi. The featured speaker was Fred McAllister, founder and president of Caddo Lake Capital, who shared stories from his wide-ranged career and offered invaluable advice for students preparing to be ready for life. With an impressive professional background that spans law, engineering, business management, and financial services, McAllister has provided merger and acquisition advisory services for nearly 2 decades across numerous industries, representing both buyers and sellers of business. He has also appeared as a guest on several major news networks, including CNN, Fox News, and Bloomberg. Among the many pieces of wisdom he offered during his visit, one powerful takeaway resonated across the room. It's not always about finding your passion. Instead, be passionate about what you find. In Hattiesburg news, a North Carolina nonprofit helped provide shelter for families who lost their homes during a tornado outbreak in Walthall County in March. Operation Anchor has been in Tylertown since the day before the storm, helping clean up damage to hundreds of homes. The group is shifting to building tiny homes for displaced residents, which come in 2 sizes and include a living and sleeping area, bathroom, and kitchenette. The organization is working to build 27 homes and is asking for weekday volunteers or donations to help cover the supply cost. Families that have signed up for these tiny homes a week and a half ago. They're calling 3 times a day right now asking where their tiny homes are. So that tells me that they need it. And they're happy to get it, and they want it badly, said Stephen Lambert, Vice President of Operation Anchor. In Mississippi news, Jackson Police Chief Joseph Wade is putting his words into action by helping organize a march against gun violence. Wade, who has coached youth league groups for almost 20 years, he said he wants to celebrate the kids who are doing the right things in our community. The Jackson Police Department will host the march on Saturday, April 26. The event will begin at 10 a.m. at Precinct 1 in South Jackson. They will be led by Jim Hill High School's marching band in the walk down Skies Park Drive to Skies Park. Wade said the march will be youth-driven and most of the speakers will be young people. I'm giving an open invitation to any parent, any child who wants to come out and march for something that actually matters in our community. That's a march against gun violence, Wade said. Jackson State University's Girls Against Gun Violence is also participating, the chief said. Also, Mississippi news, high school students may soon no longer have to pass the U.S. History State test in order to graduate. It is an idea that is now being discussed. Earlier this month, the Mississippi Board of Education voted to allow the public to weigh in on this proposal before making a final decision. Right now, high schoolers must pass state tests in math, science, English, and U.S. history. Leaders with the Department of Education want to reduce the burden of testing on students, which is why they are exploring this option. Recent numbers have shown that students have performed well on this portion of the state assessments. In 2021, 47.4% of students passed the test. The next year, in 2022, saw an improvement with 69.3% of students passing. Then in 2023, there was another improvement with 71.4% of students passing. However, this past year saw a slight decrease with 70.9% passing. If this proposal is approved, the U.S. history test will no longer be a graduation requirement beginning this fall. The comments will be presented to the board on June 19th, and afterwards the board will make its final decision. That's your news update from Southern Miss Today. We'll have the latest in sports and weather, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
You may not realize how important 3 letters can be. For a patient who needs type A, B, or O blood, these letters can mean life, but there simply aren't enough people giving blood. Without more donors, hospitals may not have the blood needed to save lives. That's why the American Red Cross needs people to help restore the A's, B's, and O's that are depleting each day. You are the missing type patients need. Visit redcrossblood.org/missing types or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make your donation appointment today.
Welcome back with our action-packed sports segment. Let's dive into the latest scores, highlights, and sports. Get your jerseys on because it's game time. Today, Wednesday, April 23rd, the baseball team will be playing against Southeastern Louisiana. On Thursday, April 24th, the women's tennis team will be playing at the Sun Belt Conference, and the beach volleyball team will be at the Beach Volleyball Championship. On Friday, April 25th, the baseball and softball teams will be playing against Appalachian State. And on Saturday, April 26th, track and cross country will be at the outdoor track and field at LSU. Head to southernmiss.com to keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities. As for weather today, look for a low of 66 with a medium chance of rain and a high of 80. The feels like for today is 67 to 81 degrees. Tomorrow, look for a low of 65 and a high of 84 with a medium chance of rain as well. Tomorrow's feels like is 67 to 85 degrees. Up next, we have Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage, with Taylor Howard recalling the racial tensions he experienced while training in Louisiana for World War II. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Taylor Howard of Gulfport was drafted into the all-black 92nd Infantry Division in 1942. He recalls the racial tensions they encountered while training in Louisiana.
I went to Camp Shelby, and from Shelby to Breckenridge, Kentucky. And that was the 370th All-Black Infantry, a part of the 92nd Division. But anyway, we came to Louisiana on field training in the DeRidder, Louisiana area. While we were there, a lot of these residents started raising sand about these black soldiers crossing their land and all this kind of stuff. And so tensions got pretty high. Resentment probably on race lines and what they're doing down, trampling over my land and all this kind of stuff. And it's my understanding that General Armand, the division commander, told the local folks that all the black soldiers he brought down there, he'd take back when the time came. And he meant that wouldn't any of them be killed by mobs. That's what he really meant.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was your Mississippi Moment for today. Coming up, we have the pleasure of hearing from Chelsea and Mac after a quick break.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277, and the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Chelsea and Mac. How are y'all?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You can move that if you need to. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
So you don't have to lean so far forward, sorry. Yeah. Could y'all introduce yourselves and what you're here to talk about today, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Chelsea Powers. I'm the Assistant Director out at Lake Thoreau Environmental Center. We're just here to really introduce you to the Environmental Center and talk about what we do and some of the activities that we have going on this year.
Yeah, and I'm one of the attendants. My name's Mac Nelson, and hopefully we can get you into our Environmental Center and get you out there and having fun on the weekends.
Awesome. For anyone who may not know, what is the Lake Thoreau Environmental Center?
Yeah, so it is a 200-acre nature center that's owned by USM. We have recreation, like hiking, biking, and fishing. And then our collections building also has an herbarium that was established in 1963. Our current curator is Dr. Mac Alford for that. And in that collection, we have over 40,000 species. In the same building, we also have an ichthyology collection that was started in 1974. The current curator for that is Dr. Jake Schaefer, and we actually have 1.5 million individual fish in that collection, the largest on the Gulf Coast. So that's a pretty cool collection that we have out there. We also have a dusky gopher frog rearing program out there. That's one of our endangered species in Mississippi. And then we do STEM outreach, like field trips and summer camps as well.
Awesome. Do you have anything? You don't have to add on to it if you do not want to.
Yeah, no, I feel like that hit it on the mark. We're just a big center that's set out for environmental purposes. You can come out there and check out the actual building, the Environmental Center building, or you can go, track the 200 acres that we have out there and go find out some cool animals.
Awesome. And you mentioned that it is through the campus, obviously. How exactly is it involved with the campus? Like you said, it's owned by the school. Is this something that specific students either do like research for or like field school? Like what all is it used for students?
Yeah, so the center is for like the operations for the ecological research here at USM. So a lot of biological sciences, environmental professors will have their labs out at Lake Thoreau. There's a classroom out there. It's pretty cool. I have a class, I've been doing herpetology. We've been going out to Lake Thoreau and setting up traps and just pulling some of the cool critters out there. But I do know a lot of other labs utilize the Environmental Center as well.
Okay, cool. Can I read? How can students get involved with Lake Thoreau besides like if they're not a biology student or they're not within like a class that would be at Lake Thoreau? How can people get involved with it?
Yeah, we're always looking for some volunteers, so just come and show up on the weekends. We're open Saturday and Sunday. You can come at any time, come find an attendant, or if Chelsea's there, come find her and we'll get it set up to link up to your Get Connected, get you those volunteer hours. Or if you'd like to come in during the week, you can just email Chelsea Powers. That's on our usm.edu page for the Lake Thoreau.
How long has Lake Thoreau been a part of Southern Miss?
So Lake Thoreau is actually two different preserves. The first preserve is the Eubanks Preserve. It is 131 acres, and it was donated in 1999 by a former USM English teacher named Leon Eubanks. So the second preserve is a longleaf preserve. It's 160 acres, and it was donated to the Mississippi Normal College, which is now USM, in 1916 by J.J. Newman Lumber Company. And it's actually pretty cool because that section of our preserve has 100-plus-year-old longleaf pine forest.
We were talking about that in our biology lab yesterday. He was talking about how he was talking. I'm sorry. He was talking about like prescribed burns and stuff, and he was like, "Guess what, guys?" And was talking about the longleaf trace, and I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. I did not." And he was talking about how part of it's technically considered a savanna.
Yeah. So you have your really large pine trees, and then the understory is pretty open. You can see for a long time, and then it has all of those savanna grasses in the understory. So we have some bike trails actually going through that area that you can walk in. I would get everyone out there just to see what it looks like.
It's
Some remnant forests.
It's crazy to hear that there's a savanna in Mississippi. Like usually people are like, "Oh, I can't think of where people think savannas are from. I don't know. I think they just kind of lived in my head, and I was like, yeah, that's not here." How can the community get involved? Is it like the same as students that want to get involved, or is there kind of a different thing for people that are non-USM students?
So like Max said, if you want to come out and volunteer, you're definitely welcome to do that. You can email me or just show up on the weekends and find an attendant. Or you can just come visit us, come hike or fish. And you can also attend events. We'll post it on our Facebook page throughout the year what events we're having. And then you can become a member, and then you get some perks, like you'll get 10% off of summer camps, $1 off of fishing, and then you'll get a discount on renting the facilities and stuff like that.
Awesome. So a bit about more y'all individually. Could y'all just like go a little bit into how y'all started working with Lake Thoreau? Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I am an honors student with the Honors College here at USM, and I was looking for a research project to do, and Dr. Davis, he caught my eye with Lake Thoreau and everything, and he offered me a position there to work with the dusky gopher frogs and, you know, get my honors thesis done on the side. And so that's really how it worked out for me, but I've seen a lot of other attendants use the volunteering route. They'll volunteer there, they'll get to know Dr. Davis and Chelsea, and it's just getting to know each other, things like that.
Did you are you currently in school here still? Okay.
Yes.
Is this anything to do with what you're studying, or is it
yeah.
like something completely unrelated?
This is definitely what I'm studying. So I have a major in conservation biology with a minor in sustainability. So this is right up my alley. I love all animals, though. I love the environments, everything.
Absolutely. And how did you get involved with Lake Thoreau? Sorry.
Yeah, so like Mac was saying, I actually went the way of volunteering. So one of my first years in undergrad, when I started the biology route, I started volunteering out there, and then got to know Dr. Davis, and later ended up working there all through undergrad until I graduated. And I just recently came back in February as the assistant director.
Awesome. And you're not in school. Yeah, we talked about this. You're not in school here. Is this related to what you studied? I'm assuming it is, since you're graduated.
Yeah, so I graduated from USM with a undergrad in biological sciences. Back then it was an emphasis in environmental science. So,
Okay.
yeah, for a while I did like more water testing and stuff like that, but now I'm back at Lake Thoreau. So
Awesome. And we were talking about this beforehand, that we did an event called Spooky Hollow at Lake Thoreau. I don't think people realize that it's not just always you go there, you hike and whatever. There's been events there. Are there, if you can think of any events that have happened in the past, if you would like to talk about them a little bit. If you can't think of any, that's also okay.
I will throw this out there. Sorry to harp on herp with that, stay on the herpetology topic, but we do have a herp hike out in, is it June?
yeah, so our herpetology hike is going to be on June 20th. And
yeah, it's super fun. Dr. Qualls goes out there. He'll set up traps for the week prior to that. And once we do go out there, it is 21 and older, so it is a drinking hike. It's later in the night, but it is super insightful, really cool. You see a lot of cool animals. He usually pulls out some venomous snake, and it's an awesome experience. I love seeing the community get together out at Lake Thoreau during that. I feel like everybody who loves the place pulls up then. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drinking hike is crazy. Sorry, I just need a...
Yeah.
What?
So that is actually sponsored by Southern Prohibition every year. So shout out to them.
So pro.
Yeah.
That's
so
such
pro.
an interesting combination.
Yeah, it really
Especially
is.
when he's like, oh, I'm going to pull out venomous snakes.
Yeah, you have to come out and see it, really.
Yeah.
I
So
am not
we
21
have
year old,
that,
unfortunately.
and then every year we do Spooky Hollow, which is our annual Halloween event. You can come drive through it with your kiddos, and we'll also do a lighted Christmas trail that'll have stops along the way.
And these are mega trails. I mean, humongous inflatables, tons of lights. We put lots of work into it, say about like 2 or 3 months beforehand. So
Yeah.
we really appreciate everybody coming down and checking out these things.
We were talking about it actually beforehand. This is for anyone who has not gone to Lake Thorough. We drove through that thing, and I kept expecting it to like end
Yeah.
because they gave us like the list of like the different stops, and we are like, oh, okay, because it had the little paragraph, and then we flipped it over, and we are like, there's more, and I think we got lost for like a hot second. I'm not gonna lie, but it's huge. Is that the entirety of the like trail in that area, or is that even that's just a like little portion?
Yeah, so the portion for the Spooky Hollow and the Christmas Trail, those are mainly just like the research area. It goes more into our burned little research areas that we have towards the spots that most visitors shouldn't go into just because it's protected a little bit. But our main walking trails that visitors would go to are more towards
It's
like
like, a
the
big
long
loop
yeah.
around the lake is the one within our center area, and then the Longleaf Trace has all of the bike trails.
Okay.
Yeah.
And y'all mentioned things like fishing is the only one I can remember. But like activities that visitors can partake in. How do people go about, like, because obviously you have to have a fishing license, and you said like you have to pay to fish there. I
Yeah.
got from what you said. How do people go about learning about these things if they're interested?
Yeah, so we have a website on usm.edu. You could just search Lake Thorough Environmental Center, and we also have a Facebook page that you can look up at the same Lake Thorough Environmental Center. So it'll have all of the information. Hiking and biking is free, so come out and see us on the weekends, and then fishing is $5 a person.
Yeah, you're also able to bring non-motorized water vessels out onto the lake.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of people bring out their boats and we'll go fishing with their kids and things.
Or canoe and kayak.
Yeah.
Awesome. To wrap this up, is there anything else you'd like to add? You can add anything that we didn't talk about. You can go over the events, whatever, give it like a brief summary, or you could say no.
Yeah. So we do have some more events coming up. Actually, this Saturday at 9 a.m., we'll be out at the Healthy Kids Day at the YMCA. So we'll have some information about our summer camps, and we'll have some amphibians and reptiles to come see. This summer, we'll have 5 weeks of summer camps starting June 11th through the July 18th, with a break in between for July 4th. Our herpetology hike on June 20th that we've already talked about a little bit. And really just stay tuned on our Facebook page for anything else that we post about events.
And the Facebook page is just Lake Thorough Environmental Center or something.
Yep, that's
You could
it.
probably just type in Lake Thorough and it'll
Yep.
pull it up. Is there anything else that y'all would like to add or tell people anything at all?
Nothing that comes to mind other than to leave it how you found it. Don't leave any
Perfect.
trash, make sure that you're caring for the environment the way that you would see fit.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming and talking to me today about this and telling everyone about Lake Thorough that might not know about it, because I know a lot of people don't,
Yeah.
especially because it's like a weird
It's a hidden
way
gem.
away.
Yeah, you get lost when you go on the map sometimes. It stops you right before our center. So if you stop at a neighborhood, just keep on going
That's
a little bit. It's
exactly
up
what
on the
happened.
right.
We got stuck in that the big house neighborhood.
Yeah.
We drove in there and we're like, this isn't right, but this is where the maps are telling us to go. Like, it led us to someone's house.
Yeah, so you're just
Yeah.
going to go down 4th Street until you get to Lake Thorough Road, and then turn right and keep going, and then you're going to see the sign on the right.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again for coming and talking to me.
Thanks for having us.
Of
Yes,
course.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Coming up, we've got Kaylin Fox Thomas on the DEI ban.
Mississippi legislators have approved of a DEI ban for all public K-12 schools and universities like Southern Miss. Students of USM's NAACP and Afro-American Student Organization came together to hold the In Their Shoes protest march against the DEI ban on April 11th.
So we started this because we wanted to make a change on campus. We wanted them to know that we're not going to let them steamroll us. We're not going to conform to assimilation or anything like that. There's not really that much representation of us out at USM, and we want incoming students to know that we are here and we are fighting.
Dr. Andrew Wiest, a longtime history professor here at USM, shares his uncertainty about how this bill, if passed, could affect him.
To be frank, I don't know how it will impact me personally. Just from an outside reading of it, it looks really restrictive on what I could teach. You know, the history of women, that's in there. The history of civil rights, that's certainly in there. It's part of what happened, and I'm supposed to teach what happened.
This bill leaves many students worried about their education and future here at Southern Miss. Kaylin Fox Thomas, SMTV.
Of course. Thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. We're thankful for Carl Wilson, our audio engineer, Gabby Collier, our film producer, for keeping this bird soaring. We especially want to thank our program director, Adeline Fields, and our audio producer, Cadence Renfro, our booker, Austin Flores, and our general manager, Dr. Martin, as well as our lovely guests today, Chelsea and Mac. That's all for today on Southern Miss Radio. Thank you for listening. Remember, fly, eagle, fly. I'm your host, Abby Boozer.